Hey guys, this is a game between Chris's Ogres and Jody's High Elves. This is their long-awaited game in the Border Princes. I don't even know what turn it is. Jody, do you know what turn it is?
12.
I want to say it's 11 or 12.
I was going to say 8.
Yeah, you're way wrong. So it's been about 2 months. So I forget.
My fault.
We all had work, and then Jody's son got sick, and obviously that took priority by a small margin, surprisingly. Chris does live close to the hospital. We could have just, jetted over and played the game. Anyway, Chris, you have 1650, right?
I do.
And Jody, you have 1600 because he bribed you.
50 points.
And all right, Chris, the scenario is Watchtower, as you can see from the giant tower in the center. Chris, why don't you go ahead, since you're controlling the tower, and tell us about your deployment?
I'll discuss deployment and terrain first.
Okay, yeah.
Obviously, the Watchtower, I do have Noblars with trappers in the building. We have established, and this may be incorrect, we've established that since the building has no front, the trappers' special rule would be ineffective should they be charged while in the building.
Okay.
I do have another set of trappers right here, protecting my Death Star unit of Iron Guts. Within, there are 2 level 2s, my Firebelly and my Butcher.
Okay.
Of course, Great Maw and Fire Lore. And then my Tyrant there with some magical trinkets as well.
Okay, yeah, he's the different colored guy.
Exactly, he's the ethnic one. Fire spells include Fireball and Cascading Fire Cloak.
Okay.
Maw spells include Spine Marrow and Brain Gobbler. I'm not excited about my spell choice at all. I do have my 3 Lead Belchers in some way defending this fence right here.
Okay.
With a plan of their own. I do have the Iron Blaster sitting upon the Anvil of Vol, which is currently giving him flaming and magical attacks.
This is the greatest Iron Blaster in the history of the world.
Right? If you look behind Jody's coffee cup, you do see
yeah.
my 3 scouting man.
I hear coffee is overpowered.
It might be. They have pistols, heavy armor, and a banner. That's the only command present.
Okay.
Your terrain today, as you're taking pictures, is you have a mysterious forest right here next to the meters. Across the map, you have Mysterious River right yonder. This is a plain obstacle fence. I already told you this is the Anvil of Vol. This is a plain hill over here.
Okay, yeah.
And way over here is the Dwarven Brew House. Remember, the Dwarven Brew House gives people within 6 inches stubborn and immune to psych. And while, of course, the Anvil of Vol gives you flaming and magical attacks within 6 inches, or if you're riding atop it, my guy.
All right. Jody, you want to go over your terrain? Or, excuse me, your deployment?
I've got 2 Griffins that I'm using as Eagles.
Okay.
Great Eagles. I've got 2 units of 10 Spear Elves with Musicians.
Okay, those are the guys with blue in them, right?
Yes, and one's missing a head.
Right.
I've got 2 units of Archers. 1 unit's facing the right direction.
Oh, hey.
Finally got some more models. And if you can tell, I'm actually not really proxying anything except for the Griffins for the Eagles, but I've decided I'm actually going to take the mounts off and just use them as Eagles straight up.
You take the guys off the top?
Because I think they just look really cool.
Fact.
2 units of 10 Archers with Musician. I'm pretty sure I'm using some both. A unit of 20 Swordmasters.
Okay.
With full command. A Aragorn is my new BSB.
Okay.
Throwing him in, doing a little, again, not really proxying, but customizing. He's got a great weapon. I got a level 2 over here with the Seer Staff. Of course, I went Foz and Banishment since I'm light. And then level 4, Teclis is my level 4. And he also has light. And he got...
And that's not actually Teclis, that's just a level 4,
just
okay.
Level 4. If it was actually Teclis, I think I'd be cheating right now.
Yeah, I think that's true.
He's got Shem's Burning Gaze, Foz Protection, Banishment, and Time Warp. Because double Banishment and double Foz is not overpowered in any way.
Not as overpowered as coffee.
Or an Iron Blaster that's flaming magical attacks.
Hey, you know what?
Shut up.
So, Jody?
Yes, sir.
Since Chris controls the Watchtower, you're going first. How are you feeling?
You know, I actually realize now I made a mistake in my deployment. Hopefully I'll be able to rectify that in the first turn. So we'll see what happens.
All right. Chris, how do you feel? You don't have the first turn. How do you think you're going to do?
I'm actually really nervous. Jody's a good player. He's a confident player, and the symmetry of deployment has me somewhat unnerved. I'm hoping that my scouting man-eaters can shake him up a little bit, maybe to like...
So you're saying that the only thing we have to do to defeat you is to deploy in the Flying V, like the Mighty Ducks?
More or less.
Okay, I'll remember that.
My kryptonite.
All right, guys, we'll get back after Jody's turn 1.
Okay.
Jody, let us know how your first turn went, brother.
All right. Well, it could have been a lot better, but it could have been a lot worse. I charged with my Sword Masters in there. Needed a 5 and 2 dice. I rolled a 4. Couple twos, 'cause that's just how it goes for me. So then I went on to shooting after I moved the rest of my stuff.
Yeah, which...
And Chris kindly reminded me that I have to do magic first, which is very nice because I needed my magic.
Yes.
Very importantly.
Very good, Chris. Good on you, Chris.
Good on you. So for magic, I'm really trying to do a good job at spell priority and order of spells. I think I did all right. I really wanted banishment to go off on the man-eaters, but he wisely chucked all 6 dice at that and got that to spell. It was actually closer than it probably should have been with 6 versus 4 dice, but it still went off. It didn't go off. As far as other magic, I single fod my Sword Masters, and then I did a Foz bubble with my level 4. So all the units except for that eagle and the 2 units of Spear Elves have Foz, and then the Sword Masters have double Foz.
Very nice.
So hopefully that'll at least keep the Sword Masters live enough to not roll 2 on a charge.
Yeah.
For shooting, I actually plinked a wound off the man-eaters with my 10 archers, and I got 3 Noblars over there.
That never tested for panic.
That never tested for
Here,
panic.
roll real quick, Chris.
I would have just let it go. But
America
things
is
were
watching.
wrong.
Also, yeah.
There's a 9 right there. All right.
Also probably another country. At least one.
We hope so. Speaking
We're
of which,
international film stars.
If you are international and you need a job, you have a job opening, let me know. I'm looking to move overseas. So that's where we're at right now. Could be a lot worse.
All right.
Could be a lot better.
Chris, you ready for turn 1?
Ready for turn 1.
All right. Get it on.
All right, Sir Chris a lot. End of your turn 1. Let us know what happened.
All right, this is the bottom of turn 1. I declare no charges. I did march my man-eaters wielding the banner of swiftness 14 inches forward into the faces
That's scary.
of my shooters. I'm hoping to scare them a little bit. I did take this block, excuse me, and move it that direction. The Noblars maintaining the tower did throw their knives, sporks, and bottles at this eagle, and actually did 2 out of 3 wounds.
So let's see. 10 shots, and you hit with 2 of them.
Yeah.
Double 6s.
Double 6s to wound, yeah. I did fireball with my fire mage, irresistible force, triple fireball. They failed their 8 twice.
Yes.
And so they are currently fleeing, which is just, again, dice rolling is in my favor tonight. There's really no skill that has me ahead. Leadbelchers took off 2. We are proxying because he has some filler models.
Yes.
So they only took off 2 right there. My Iron Blaster shot for his level 4 wizard in the backfield, but I did not get past the spell. I was unsuccessful in the 4-up.
Beautiful.
So he is saving himself that way. We're getting ready to get started on the top of turn 2 in Watchtower.
All right, let's do this.
All right, Jody, your turn 2. Let us know what happened.
All right, well, I moved a lot of crap around down here to try to find out some of the man-eaters.
Okay.
It's a lot of stuff that's going to get destroyed, but I needed to do it.
Right.
During my magic phase, I moved him behind the...
Yeah, I was going to say, you got...
I moved the eagle back there, hoping to do some stuff. We'll see what happens. Maybe I'll get fireballed in the face by the Iron Blaster. We'll see what happens.
Okay.
Other than movement, when it came to magic, I rolled really well. Got 12 power dice. Was all stoked to just rack with some banishment. And then he decided to Hellheart. So when he Hellhearted, I actually feel I got fairly fortunate. He rolled a 3, so my level 2 got hit. And I rolled a 7, so I lost 3 Sword Masters. Which could have been a lot worse.
Yeah.
So I accept that. The biggest destruction to that phase was that I rolled a 6 on my d6 power dice loss. So I ended with 6 dice.
Gotcha.
I was able to get a single Foz off on the Sword Masters and nothing else. Because he dispelled the bubble Foz that I tried.
And I see that they easily pushed out some Noblars.
Yes. I think I did like 16 wounds.
Yeah.
We definitely...
Nobody cries over them.
No.
Feeling good now?
You know, I don't know yet. Just I think after his turn 2, I'll have a good sense of where the game's at.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
All right, excellent. Chris, you ready for turn 2? I'm going to assume that's a yes.
All right.
All right, Chris, why don't you walk us through your turn 2?
This is the bottom of 2, is that
Yep,
right?
yep.
Okay. What happened is that the man-eaters charged some archers over there, and they obliterated them. They reformed to face their up-and-coming quarries. I took 0 wounds.
Yeah.
The Noblars marched to the side of the tower. The Lead Belchers shot at his level 4 wizard to discover that he can only be wounded by magical attacks.
That's going to be tough.
The Iron Blaster Grape shot the bird to featherines, if you will. And then the...
Lame.
Shut up. The Iron Guts and friends have faced off against the tower here.
Okay.
That is what happened on the bottom of turn 2.
All right. Well, we'll get back to Jody on his turn 3. Chris, how do you feel about your chances?
I still think it's neck and neck, but you know, I always judge things way too prematurely.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll get back to Jody. Jody, that was your turn 3. Why don't you let us know how it went?
It went okay. Did a lot of movement, as you can tell. Trying to still block them. Moved them a little bit. Shot at the Noblars. Plucked a few off. He passed his panic. Moved my spearman over here up towards his lead belchers.
Yep, I see him.
I figure he doesn't take the negatives for moving and shooting, so. And I was already in short range. So
Right.
what difference?
And your sword masters are still in the tower?
They're still in the tower. Level 4 still behind it.
Okay.
And I moved my eagle up to say, bring it on, with this 1 wound left. In magic, I rolled really poorly, got 5 dice. Chucked 3 at banishment on here, got it off, but he dispel scrolled it.
Okay.
And then I chucked 2 dice at a single Foz on my sword masters and got that off.
Yep.
So that's my top of 3.
All right, Chris, we're going to get to you in just a second. Chris, how'd your turn 3 go?
My turn 3 went well. I charged the spearmen and ran them down. They fled, but I caught them.
Yeah, they ran pretty far, and then you rolled farther, I guess.
I did. The man-eaters charged into the last couple of spearmen over here, defeated them in combat, and now they're facing. They're going to man-witch those archers over there.
Okay.
Maybe. I got another grape shot off on an eagle.
Yeah, I don't see an eagle.
And the eagle's gone.
That eagle only had 1 wound, though, so he was not really...
Yeah, he was doomed. Noblars are taunting his level 4. And the Iron Guts charged the building and were bounced out because they lost combat by a couple of wounds there. But I
Okay.
did destroy his BSB.
Very interesting. All right, well, this is getting really bloody, and it looks like the elves are going to have to camp out in the tower and hope to weather the storm. So we'll see how that goes. This is turn 4, the turn that it all could end, starting with you, Jody. So good luck, sir. Turn 4, Jody. You look kind of defeated.
No, it's getting to the point where I'm getting tired.
Yeah.
I need to drink more coffee.
Coffee's
during my
overpowered.
turn 4, I didn't do much. During magic, got low winds again. So I Fob bubbled. So everyone's got Foz. And then I single Fod my sword masters, and he, well, mainly because I rolled really crappy, he was able to easily dispel it.
Okay.
Shot at his Noblars with my archers, killed all but 1, and of course they held. And now I just wait my impending doom.
All right. Well, we're going to hope that those, I don't know, how many sword masters?
Something like 17.
Yeah, 15 or 17 or something sword masters are going to hold out.
Yes.
All right, Chris, we'll get back to you at the end of your turn 4. All right, Chris, you and Baby Hulk, why don't you walk us through your turn 4?
Turn 4, the man-eaters and the lead belchers charged the archers and distinguished them. They reformed to face the tower.
Okay.
The lead belcher the iron blaster has moved around to try to contribute to whatever the heck's going on over there.
Gotcha.
And the iron guts have been diminished to just the characters currently. The butcher, the firebelly, both with great weapons, and of course the general, who has disclosed the fencer's blades and armor of destiny. And now it's just to a pissing match between those two.
We got 4 sword masters, 3 sword masters, a champion, and
Yep.
the wizard.
Yep.
All right, and then the 3 ogre characters. All right. So since this is the end of turn 4, who's rolling to see if the game ends?
The one in the tower.
All right, Jody.
6 wins.
Nope.
Nope,
Turn
it's
5.
a 3. We're going to turn 5, Jody. Get ready. Jody, your turn 5. How'd it go?
All right. Well, I guess it went well, really, when you think of it. My turn 5, I tried to double banishment. I got the first banishment off, double 6s, of course, irresistible. I was able to get 3 attacks.
Oh, on 2d6. Yeah,
Yes.
you rolled really well there.
So I got a wound on 2 of them, which was nice, I guess, considering. And then when I rolled a miscast, both my wizards took a wound, so it actually went well. But again, when I rolled to get rid of dice, I rolled a 6.
Right.
So I couldn't cast anything else, which really hurt me. And that was my turn 5.
And then we went ahead and did Chris's, since your turn 5 took about 5 seconds.
Yes.
Chris, how did your turn 5 go?
I brought up everybody in the backfield here, since he moved his level 4 into the tower. I'm just bringing everybody around for the sake of cosmetics, in case I decide to start shooting the tower instead of everything else. These guys charged it one more time. The Firebelly lost the fight, and he actually had the Mask of Scary E, or whatever, that gives him terror, giving the unit terror, so that's what's been making them take a terror check. And they've passed every time. They were bounced out of the building. He lost combat and made his roll.
Yep.
So we're about to roll now. If he gets a 5 up, the occupier of the tower wins.
That's right. Let's see it, Jody.
For 1.
No.
We go to turn 6.
All right, turn 6. We'll get back to you in a second. All right, Jody, you had a pretty sneaky ploy on your turn 6. So why don't you walk us through it?
All right. Well, all that was left was my wizards.
Right.
And he only had 2 guys left in this unit.
Right.
So my plan was to pop out my level 2, double banishment this unit, hopefully kill his tyrant with the banishment, and by doing so, omit all of the magical attacks from his army, leaving my level 4 with Valerius Robe in the building, not able to be harmed by any of his stuff, unless he took the Iron Blaster and moved it back to that mountain and shot at me. So that was my plan, and it almost worked.
Good plan. So
I did get a banishment off.
I can see by their wounds that you did some wounds to them in banishment.
I rolled poorly again and only got 5. And I did get some wounds off on him, but in the end,
Yeah, he stuffed your second banishment.
Second banishment. I was really hoping for double 6s, but what you gonna do?
Yep. All right, and then it's Chris on your turn 6. What happened?
I charged him in, and I just shot off his last wizard who was unprotected out there. Knowing that I only had one character, my tyrant with the Fencer's Blaze, who had any magical weapons with which to harm the guy with the robes, I immediately challenged. He can't attack in close combat, and with my 6 attacks, I was able to just cut him down.
All right.
But props to Jody for keeping the tower for 4 or 5 turns, I believe.
Well, 6. I guess 5. Yeah.
Yep. For 5 whole turns, they're unrelenting completely. The Ogres' attacks to even get in. Just kept kicking them back out.
Yep. All right. Well, yeah.
Good game, sir.
Yep, by all means.
Very nice. Jody, why don't you tell me your MVP and LVP here?
I think my MVP, probably my level 4.
Okay.
I guess. I mean, the Swordmaster did all the work, of course, but he kept them alive. Even on the small magic phases where I rolled low on the winds, I was still able to get Boz off, and that kept their numbers from dwindling too much.
Right.
So I'd probably go with MVP to him.
Okay. Who's your least valuable elf?
My least valuable elf. I mean, I'm sure I'll think of something later, but right now, looking back on it, I don't. Probably the BSB. And that falls into the biggest mistake I had was I decided to put my BSB in the combat. If I wouldn't have, I don't know if I would have survived much longer, but at least he wouldn't have been dead. Right. Which didn't really matter because I didn't really need my rerolls on any of my leadership tests.
Which is nice.
So the only thing he really saved is Well, it really didn't matter, I guess, whether he died then or not. So, pretty indifferent about that. Biggest mistake? I mean, I guess I could say that was still a mistake, but I don't think I made a ton of them. I felt I did a good job keeping his man-eaters from getting too much into it. My plan was to get rid of his Iron Gut unit and then turn around and face, and I didn't feel like either of these were really going to be a big deal.
Right.
Once they got into base.
Right.
So, I don't know. I guess that's where I'm at.
Okay.
A couple bad rolls. A lot of bad rolls, I think, is what hurt me.
Chris, your MVP?
I really think MVP were the man-eaters. I think he put a lot of attention back there that had the attention, had his archers and had all of those spearmen got around here and dealt with the iron guts, that they could have possibly kept me out of the tower altogether. But I think the man-eater scouts kept him occupied. Obviously, they survived all the way to turn 6. So man-eaters, MVPs.
And who was your least valuable player?
Least value player were the Noblars. They contributed 0. With the exception of picking off a couple wounds on an eagle, they didn't stop any charges. They occupied the building just for the sake of occupying it, since I won the turn, and I can't put monstrous infantry in the tower. I think Noblars didn't serve me whatsoever, but to achieve core value.
Cortex. All right. Well, it was a good game.
It was.
I guess we'll have actually a Border Prince update for you guys soon. Then they already shook. Jody, thank you for playing.
Yes, sir. Thank you for watching.
Chris, thank you for playing. Baby Hulk, say hi to everybody.
Hi, everybody.
All right, and that's the game. So hopefully we'll get back to you soon. Peace.